Alright guys, so now the front's done, we're moving on to the back. I'm on the opposite side now, but I've got all the parts laid out behind me here. My tools and the original hardware that came off the factory subframe. So as I mentioned before, this is a HGK modified subframe for a winter's quick change diff. So this has already been prepped and painted or powder coated, so I might have a bit of a hard time getting some of the parts in. But that'd be no different to when I'd be putting it back together for the final time. So I've got all my parts with me, we'll get straight into it. So I just need to work out which bolts are which, but I think we'll be okay. Put the camber arm in first, what I'm calling the camber arm. So I'll just use my rubber mallet. We'll get one bolt in to start with, and then it should help line up the others. There we go. Eventually got there. With these spherical bearings, it does make it a little bit hard, especially when the angle's already preset on the subframe and you get the bearings are moving around, so it can be a little bit fiddly to get in and out. So that one's done. We'll do the lower control arm. Looks like that'll be a shorter bolt because I've got a fair bit of length coming out of there. So there they are. That seems better. So that's in. Now I'll get the front toe in. Like that. Now, because the camber's adjustable, I'm just going to use the factory camber bolts for the moment. But once it does all go back together, I'll find some nut and bolt that have centralized washers with this thickness, so it no longer runs a standard camber adjustment. Alright, so that one's in. That. Right, so now I'll take all the hardware that Wisefab has provided off the knuckle, and then we'll get it in place. So I'll start with the top one. Alright, so that one's in. And so we'll do this one next. So you've just got to break the lock on the, or not a lock as such, but not that they're seized up either, but they are pretty firm obviously because they're new. And when you're putting things in place, you've just got to make sure it's at the right angle. So get these. Middle. So it's not exactly square at the moment, that's why it's giving me a bit of a hard time to go in. There we go. Then you get this last washer in between. On. So once it's all together, I will go over and tighten it up. But we will get this one in. Pretty sure that's how it goes. Yes, that's how it runs. Turn this out. Now, the rear suspension mostly comes set up, so there's very little adjustment before you get out on track to be made. So I'll still get it aligned before I take it out, but most of it's already done. So there we go. So this ring that's sitting here, if you're using the factory handbrake setup on the Toyota GT86, you don't use this, you take this off. But if you're not using it, you take this off. But if you aren't using it, you leave this on to provide the factory spacing for caliper offsets. That one, and the last one to connect up. I really like how there's fewer nuts on this setup, because the actual knuckles are threaded, which is really nice. So actually I might not even put that one in. I'll get the rear coilovers, install them, because I did forget about them. So I'll grab the rear coilovers. Alright, so I've got the coilovers with me now, because I've got most of the Wisefab on. So I'll get these in. We'll start with mounting them from the top first, and then we can mount it at the bottom. Now at the bottom there's 3 different mounting points for the mounting bolt. Now that's a way you can harden and soften your suspension at the rear as well as a further adjustment, which is pretty handy at the track. It's a matter of just changing a bolt and your alignment settings stay the same. So get this in. It's handy I've cut the back off so I can get through here. Alright, so that's in. That one up. So I'm just going to use the middle bolt hole for the moment, just to get it knocked up. Centered, and we can screw that in once it's lined up. And that's going in, so that's the rear Wisefab installed right there. So pretty easy, straightforward. So what I'll do now is I'll just go over it, tighten everything up. But that's about it for the moment. On the next video you can expect me to be mounting the hubs up to the knuckles, both front and rear. I'll put on the rotors and then put on the calipers, just so we can get an idea. I know that shouldn't change, but I've bought brackets to adapt from the standard mounting location to I think it's a 2006 WRX caliper, which is in one of the other videos of me overhauling them. So go check that out if you haven't seen them, so you can see what brakes I'm using. But otherwise, yeah, I've got 2 sets of those to go on. It's all in now. I'll just tighten all the bolts, but yeah, otherwise, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the install of the MCA suspension and Wisefab front and rear drop knuckle kit and angle kit. So if you like what you saw, give it a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.